Good afternoon. It is with profound joy, humility, and gratitude to God that I stand before you today for this momentous occasion, the official launch of Christ the King College. This day marks the beginning of a sacred mission, a journey that will not only shape the lives of those who pass through our doors, but also the communities and ministries they will go on to serve. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Dr. David Beery, honored to serve as the president of Christ the King College and dean of the Watt School of Business. It is both a privilege and a profound responsibility to lead this institution, one built on the unwavering foundation of biblical truth and passion for equipping individuals to fulfill their calling to God. Christ the King College is more than just a new institution. It is a calling. It is a vision born out of a deep commitment to the authority of Scripture and the transformative power of God's Word. At Christ the King College, we believe the Bible is not merely a book to be studied. It is the living, breathing foundation of all knowledge and wisdom and truth. Our mission, rooted in the principles of the Christian faith, to glorify God by providing a biblically grounded education that equips individuals for a life of service, ministry, and leadership. Every program, every classroom discussion, and every moment at Christ the King College is designed to point students back to Christ, ensuring their education is not only intellectually enriching, but spiritually transformative. Launching a college is no small feat. It requires vision, courage, and faith in God's provision. But what makes Christ the King truly unique is the heart of our mission. As a nonprofit institution, we are committed deeply to affordability and accessibility, ensuring that all who are called to grow in faith and ministry can do so without the weight of financial barriers. This is not just a promise, it is a reflection of our core values. Additionally, our seminary program is a cornerstone of this institution. Designed for those seeking advanced theological education, it is a place where students can dive deep into Scripture, learn from experienced pastors and scholars, and prepare to lead with wisdom and humility. Whether our graduates are called to pastor churches, teach the next generation, or serve in missions, they will leave Christ the King equipped to faithfully fulfill their calling. But education at Christ the King goes beyond the classroom, and community is what is at the heart of what we do. In a world that often feels disconnected, we are creating a space where students, faculty, and staff can build meaningful relationships rooted in faith. Through small class sizes, collaborative projects, and local and global outreach opportunities, we are fostering an environment where everyone feels seen, valued, and supported in their journey. I want to address something central to our identity as a college: our decision to remain unaccredited by secular agencies. This was a deliberate and prayerful choice grounded in our unwavering commitment to the biblical authority. At Christ the King College, our ultimate accountability is to God's Word, not to external standards that could compromise our mission. This approach ensures that every aspect of our curriculum and community remains Christ-centered, allowing us to focus fully on preparing students for their God-given calling. As we move forward, let us be guided by our motto, Veritas Christi Super Omnia, the truth of Christ above all. This phrase reflects everything that we stand for as an institution. It reminds us that our highest priority is to glorify Christ in all things that we do, and holding fast to His truth as the foundation of our mission. The launch of Christ the King College is not just an event. It is a step in faith. It is an acknowledgement that we are called to do something greater than ourselves. And through God's grace, we can create an institution that transforms lives for His glory. We are not simply building a college. We are building a legacy of faith, service, and ministry that will ripple through generations. I'm honored to lead this effort and to stand alongside of each of you, faculty, staff, supporters, future students, as we embark on this journey together. The road ahead will not always be easy, but with faith in God and unity of purpose, there is no limit to what we can accomplish. So today, let us commit ourselves to this vision. Let us dedicate our work, our hearts, and our prayers to Christ the King College. Let us trust that God, who began this good work, will be faithful to us and faithful to everyone to help us complete it. Thank you for believing in this mission, for answering the call to be part of this moment, and for joining us in building something extraordinary. Together, we will glorify God and equip individuals to impact the world with love and truth of the gospel. May God bless this institution, its students and faculty, and the work we are called to do in His name. Thank you.
The opinion expressed here do not necessarily reflect the views of the network production company. Viewer discretion is advised. This program contains violent content which may be too intense for some viewers and listeners. Viewer-listener discretion is advised. This week on Serial Killers, Supernatural and Murderers. Sam Little, serial killer. Sam Little. How you doing, Chris?
Hey, how's it going?
Doing good. Welcome to All Access Network TV.
Well, thank you for having me. Thank you. I appreciate this opportunity to be with both
Cool.
of y'all tonight.
Yeah, welcome. We were so excited.
Yes, we are. We're very happy to have you. I think this is going to be a great opportunity for our viewers, our listeners, people that are part of the network. So
No,
welcome aboard.
Yes, welcome.
well, thank you. Thank you. But I hope we have an exciting night tonight, talking about some things and so forth. And but like first off, I never really asked both of y'all, how did y'all get into the paranormal? I mean, I know it's like a cliche to even start,
No,
a
it's not.
podcast with, but like, tell me, like, at one at a time, like, tell me where y'all start. So, how about this? Letriana, you go first.
Okay. Yes. All right. So, my grandmother told me, she could tell I had a sort of a predisposition for the macabre. My dad said that it was unnatural, but she was like, no, she's like her grandma. And she told me I was, from the time I was about 5, I was in K5 and then first grade. And she said, now look, this might happen. You might see spirits. You might see your angel. And she talked to me about the way you can test spirits to make sure that they aren't trying to trick you. And so when it started to happen, I knew exactly what I needed to do. I had the chicken pox and I had been praying for help because I never missed school. That was not a thing. That wasn't an option. And when I saw 2 weeks worth of homework come rolling in, I thought, my God, I'm going to die. I'm going to die. What is happening? And I had a reaction to the medicine the doctor gave me. So I had breakout on top of chicken pox. So I was truly miserable with a terrible fever. I can remember it hurting my eyes just to look at the white paper, the headache type fever.
Right.
So I prayed, and because she had told me about my guardian angel, and I was expecting, maybe I'll hear something from my guardian angel because I need help.
Right.
And then I heard this voice, and he said, how could I come to you without scaring you? And I thought, okay, I remember this. She mentioned something about this because I would not be able to tolerate his real form as a human. And I say he because he presented himself as male, although I understood clearly at that time, even that young, that angels are not he or she.
Right.
And so I looked over, and my grandma always had snacks for me, little things that were healthy. And you remember Mr. Peanut?
Yes.
With the monocle, and then, and so I looked over and I had Mr. Peanut can by the bed, and Mr. Peanut, I would like the monocle and the suit and everything. And what about my voice? How can I talk to you? And I remember my grandmother watching true crime, British shows, and that British accent, and I was like that. And then all of a sudden I saw this like a snow globe at the foot of the bed.
Right.
I'm like, I can't see it. What's wrong with me? I can't see it. And then it just came to form. And there he was. And I could see the threads in his vest because it was like a tweed. I could see his buttons and details. I could see the monocle and his chain. It was just so amazing. And I was feeling so bad. I was just, that was the first thing. And the angel put his hand through my chest. At first it frightened me, but it felt so good. I just closed my eyes and I went to sleep. And that was a big deal because I had not been able to sleep. I was so miserable. And then when I woke up, I told my mom. Well, she called Mama Jenny, and Mama Jenny drove to our house, and they both were in the room to talk to me about it. And I went through this thing with them step by step for 4 visits. And I wrote about it in my book. I know that's a shameless plug, but it's The Origins of 5 Generations of the Supernatural Family Spirit. So, yeah, she set me in motion. And, it really helped me with my kids because then I was able to see what it felt like being in their shoes.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's a beautiful story.
Thank you. It means everything to me. And I hope, honestly, that's why I started teaching. Those aha moments that people would have and things that would happen, that there's no way it could be anything but supernatural. So it just made us all appreciate our teamwork and share our stories. It's just amazing. So
It is.
I'm sure it's because of her. So
And she's a strong lady even now.
yes,
Oh yes, I can feel her. You know,
my grandmother
I was
and
gonna say something. I was like,
yeah,
you know,
Mama
I
Jenny's
feel
a
her.
trip. Mama Jenny's a trip. And then my mother too. She was right with her. And she never told me that she named her angel the man in blue, because that's what I named mine. And it was just before she passed that
She
got
did.
the whole story. So yeah.
Wow. Wow, that's interesting. Yeah, talking about the man in blue. You know, I heard a similar story from my grandmother. She was telling me about when my mom was born, that she was born a blue baby, of course, you know, breech, I'm assuming, you know, umbilical wrapped around the, you know, the throat.
Mm.
And supposedly, you know, they almost lost her. Well, when she came home, and one night, you know, my grandmother went to go check up on her, and she said there was like this blue angel man, you know, or, you know, something in that nature. And he just like shot up into the ceiling. And then all you can see are just like, you know, these sparkles, you know,
That's what I mean.
of
The
like
snow
feathers.
globe, like,
Yeah.
yeah, crystals.
Right. No, absolutely. And she
I
told
thought
me,
about starting to collect snow globes. It was
Yeah.
like a remembrance of that moment,
you know,
actually.
it's so funny that you mentioned that, because I was at my friend's house, Cindy, this past Sunday, because we had a family dinner. And so she was showing me these snow glow, like I guess they're lit it up. I'm not sure
Mhm.
like if they run on batteries or, you know, it's a charger, but
Yeah.
they were beautiful, and I just couldn't keep my eyes off of them for some odd reason. And there were different ones. So there was one that was like a little lantern, you know, I think with a
Oh,
stand in it, and you know, all these other ones. But it was so weird, because it's like I was focused on those, and now you're talking about snow glows, and like, who's gonna? I mean, look, I am not a Christmas person. I mean, I love Christmas. Okay, I am not the type of person who's gonna, like, you know, put Christmas decorations up in my house. I'm not Jehovah Witness either. You
I
know,
gotcha.
I don't know. It's just like ever since, you know, my grandmother passed away, it just has not been my thing. You know, I enjoy it, you know, for my kids. You know what I'm saying, for that. But like Christmas music, you know, like, I don't know, man. And like Mariah Carey, oh no,
I
that shit
can
got
hear
to
the
go.
song in my head. Yeah.
Yeah.
See what I'm see
Yes.
what I'm saying? That should be illegal. It should be illegal.
Yeah, there's a lot of materialism involved in Christmas, you know.
You know,
And
like what happened to Ben Crosby? Bing
that's
Crosby.
what I'm talking.
You
That's it.
know,
I
We
love
had that on the other day.
Yeah, we
The
listen
Bing
to the old stuff.
Mhm.
and then like Mariah Carey's like, that's the you know, the Christmas theme. Like, no, it's not. You want to throw up? Yeah, of course.
Oh, you were so funny.
You know, like,
You were
I mean, look, you know, she's a talented artist. You know what I'm saying? She's made great music. I mean, I used to love her when I was, you know, young.
Yes.
I tried to like dress like her and shit, you know, like wearing them little things, and didn't work out in my favor. But the thing is that, you know, I appreciate her music. I appreciate her talent. I just don't appreciate that song.
I
You know?
agree.
Like, did she make it up, or was it like a song previous?
I wonder.
You know what? I don't know.
Because it sounded like a
Oh,
song
let me
previous,
see.
but I know it probably wasn't.
But you know, when they first came out with it, it was something different. But then they drowned it just over. And every time you turned on the radio or whatever, they overkilled it and it just messed it up.
Like right now, I can't get the video out of my mind.
I can hear the song. Yeah.
Yeah. I just see white and red, and it's just mainly her butt that I see is red. It's probably a butterfly effect. I just think I saw it and I didn't.
So you're talking about All I Want for Christmas, right?
Yes.
All I want for Christmas is
she's gonna throw
you.
up.
Thank you, and I'm gonna have it stuck in my head all night long.
She's looking it up.
I'm looking it up. Okay, so All I Want for Christmas has sold more than 60 million copies worldwide. She's made $80,000 on
she's
it.
a rich bitch. Okay.
Yes, she is. And Carrie earns up to 1.2 million annually during the holiday season from this song. So, oh yeah.
She don't even
Smart.
She don't even have to work anymore ever
Let
again.
that song come on.
Yeah.
She has passive income.
Yeah.
We all need some of that.
Yeah, we all need that.
I know, I mean, I'm not jealous or anything. I mean, good for
I'm just
her.
sick of the song.
I'm just sick of the song.
Me too.
Look, it's just like when I lived in Mississippi. Okay, one summer I ate so much watermelon because my step grandpa used to sell watermelons on the side of the road all the way down like to Pascagoula into like close to Mobile and down the coastline. And he was known for that. But he would, after, all day out there selling, watermelon, then he would bring a couple home that he didn't sell, and then we would eat it. And we would sit on the porch and eat it. And every day I had watermelon. And I'm just letting you know, I just started eating watermelon. Okay?
And you got so sick of it, you had to wait a couple of...
This was in 1997, okay? So think about how long ago that was.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
right,
now it's just like, I eat it now,
let me show you the man who actually wrote the song.
What?
It looks like Freddie Prinze, like when he was, Sanford and Son guy.
Yeah.
Yep. Freddie Prinze? No, what was his name?
I don't remember.
You know what I'm talking about, though.
Yeah,
Not Red Fox, the other guy. Anyway, Mariah Carey had some ideas and some words written, and he sat down and was doing the boogie woogie side on one hand, and then she started coming up with some words, and the next thing he finished up the song, sent it to her, and she recorded it, making millions.
Drive you crazy, but it makes millions.
Hey, it works, right?
There you go.
She said there's just not a little. She said that my motivation, there wasn't a lot of artists that had Christmas songs or Christmas albums.
Well, back then it wasn't. You got to think about it.
Yeah, I would do a Christmas album, but just only the shit I like. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, why don't you do that?
You've
it's
got
like,
a voice
it may not be
like Tracy Chapman, just real soulful.
It's good.
And she recently made a lot of money because somebody redid her song.
Yeah, Luke Combs.
Combs, yeah, and it just blew up again, all over again.
Yeah, he did. Look, I like his version more than I like her version.
You have to go back and listen to it.
Yeah, I just, I don't know. Like, okay, so I've always, like, everybody, not everyone, but a good portion of people, like when I was younger, they were like, "Oh, when you sing, you sound like Tracy Chapman, like sing Fast Car." And I'm like, bitch, I'm not gonna sing Fast Car because like I gotta get that Billy Goat in my me and my fast car, like it just does not work for me.
You won't do. You know that. You just won't do.
We needed a good laugh.
We did. We've gone from one climate to another. You can hear I'm stopped up.
Yeah.
We've been on the road for about a week and a half. We've been doing filming and God knows what. So
yeah, I mean, I've been stalking you on Facebook.
That's our fan. That's our fan, right?
Yeah,
we got one. Yes.
See, there is a reason. You know what I'm saying? Like, Yeah, I saw y'all in the cemetery and shit. I was like,
Did you
I
see
see
the
Matt
big
back there.
mosquitoes?
Just,
Did you see the big mosquitoes too? They was eating us
The
alive.
size of a quarter, 50 cent.
No, I did not see those.
Got me right there.
But my thing is, how in the hell do y'all have mosquitoes in cold climate? Like, look, you know what? It's cold here, and there's still mosquitoes here. I don't know how they survive. You know, even when we had that big freeze and we didn't know what to do here in Texas because we just never seen snow, like a whole bunch of it. You know, like we didn't know how it felt like to have the power off, no heat. Thank God we live in a house that has gas, so thank God.
Yeah.
You know, if we wanted to go to the restroom and all that, we had to go get like a 5-gallon bucket and then go in the muddy ruts in the yard to go and scoop up like water. And then we're like, hey, you know what? Let's go put these buckets on the side, so like when the sun hits the water, it'll just fall in there, and then we'll just,
That's tough.
That's rough. I promise it is.
Look, man, I learned how to live life below zero like in like 5 hours.
There you go. It don't take long.
No. When Helene hit us, the whole world fell down.
Oh yeah, we had to learn no lights, no. I had water. I'm privileged. I had water, but I didn't have lights. Lee got a generator. I went to her house every day, and we were making it work. We were a tribe making it work.
I cooked breakfast on the front porch on a griddle that we had gas. I was cooking out there. Everybody's smelling our bacon, and neighbors are looking over there. Russ yelled over, "You making enough for me?" I was like, "I'll throw some on. Come on."
Look, we were blessed to have gas because there was a lot of people in Houston who didn't have it because it froze, So we were able to have that. We had water until like the second day. We didn't have water. It froze. But we had this fish named Sally. She was like a black betta fish. And, it's cold and she's like in her little tank. And I'm thinking, man, she's going to freeze. Dude, she's going to be solid. So I had to put her like by the burner, you know what I'm saying? To like keep her kind of warm and all that. And then like, thank God we made it through. The fish survived, but then a few weeks later, I accidentally killed her.
What?
I was cleaning her tank out, and I thought the water was cold enough, and it wasn't, and she went
into shock.
Yeah, she was zip zapping everywhere, and then she just started floating up.
Oh no!
And I had to tell my kid I killed his fish by accident.
Yeah, that's when you go get another one to replace it. Yeah.
Well, he was in front of him, so it was hard
that
to
won't
do.
work either.
Yeah,
yeah, you kill my fish. Every now and then he'll throw it up in my face, like when he's mad,
I did the reverse. I heated the water thinking it was the right temperature. Oh, that feels about right. And I put him in there and it was like,
yeah, that's what happened. But at the same time, my son was talking to me and I have ADHD. So I'm like, look, he knows. See, like, don't talk to me when I'm doing shit. Because I will mess up. I mean, I guarantee I will mess up.
That.
Look, man, that's why, like, when I go to fast food and I get something to eat or whatever, man, I thank them. I'm like, hey, you know what? I thank you for your service, what you do, because I couldn't do this shit. Like, think about it. I mean, you really have to be multitask, right?
Yes.
Right, to take multiple orders and get food and make sure that they're right and all that. Nah, man, I'll be crying during like rush hour in a fetal position, in the bathroom.
Well, see, I grew up with my dad in family restaurants. So,
see, you're born into that.
Yeah. But I do ADHD if I don't have my caffeine, and I haven't had enough caffeine today, so I may be out there a little bit.
That's okay.
All right.
That's all right. I didn't take my smart pill today, so it's all good. Like, yeah, I woke up late. Basically, I try to wake up like at 4:45 in the morning, and get on the road and everything. And so I got up late. I got up like at 6. I get dressed. I go to the gas station to get gas in my car. And then I noticed like, hey, there's like, there's like dew all over my window. So I go in and do that and I leave. And I forgot to put gas in my car.
Oh no.
So I'm driving to go pick up a passenger and I'm like, I'm like, why do I have half a tank? I thought I just put some gas in it. And I'm thinking like, I remember paying, and I'm like, and I remember cleaning the windows because I get gas like 3 times a day, So I'm like, and I'm thinking in my head, I remember getting the nozzle, but was that yesterday?
Oh no.
Yeah.
Well, did you get to go back and get your gas? Or
I went there this morning to get some more gas, and I'm like, yo, dude, guess what I did? I was talking to the owner of the corner store, and I was like, man, you know what? I got gas, and I didn't even get it. And he was like, oh, 2 minutes, it goes back on your card. You'll get it in a few days. I'm like, okay, great.
That's good though. Yeah.
That is good. That is good because, losing $20 worth of gas. No. No.
Has the gas prices gone down where you are?
A little bit, but see where we live, I live in Houston. I live on the east side of Houston, so it is a subdivision, a part of Houston is Baytown. So we are like an gas and oil refinery area here. So pretty much where it's made, it's not cheap, so our gas is a little bit more expensive. Now, if I go into downtown Houston, around there, then the prices are a little bit cheaper than they are here. So basically, from what was told to me because I asked one of the owners, I'm like, why is it so expensive here and it's cheaper in Houston? It's like, because we make it here, and we outsource it out there.
Oh,
so
true.
I was like, yeah.
No, that makes sense.
Ours is what, 267 or something like that at our house yesterday.
Yesterday.
Oh, that's 267. Ours is, I saw 236.
Wow, that's good. I hope it comes on
or
down.
33. If I'm, but see, but that's like at HEB. So HEB is a Texas grocery store here. It's really big. They're actually a great grocery store and all. They've been around for over like I think 100 years. And so when it comes to fuel and all that, you can actually get fuel there like you can at Kroger's and all that. And so you get like a discount. I don't go to HEB because where I live at, I'm not driving 15 minutes to go get gas.
Yeah, yep.
You going to the corner? Yep.
I'm going to the corner store. I mean, thank God it's like, Exxon or Chevron, because like sometimes when you go get gas and there's a corner store and that corner store looks shady as hell, you're like, nah, like you can just think about, man, there's probably like radiation or something glowing, in the gas tank.
Oh no.
Yeah, there's one place over here, like I'm afraid I'm gonna get shot, like pumping gas. I mean, it looks ghetto as hell, but they got the cheapest gas around.
I'd be putting me a vest on then. Yep.
Look, last time I went to a shady ass place and got gas, it messed up my fuel. Like it messed up my fuel.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I'm like,
water in there.
Probably.
Yeah. And I had to put that, whatever it's called, heat in there to like evaporate it, and that didn't work. And then I eventually had to replace the fuel pump.
That's not good.
Yeah.
That's not good at all. I wonder if that's what happened to mine.
I wonder.
That's probably is during the storm. It got messed up. Yeah.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Makes sense.
All right. I mean,
Miss ADHD, I can't even talk. That's how bad mine is right
now. See, look, we're coming right back around the corner. So, Gwen, tell me about your experience.
Mine was totally different. Mine's the opposite. When I was little, I would see and hear and experience things, and I would say it, and I would get told, because I live in the South, in the Bible Belt, shh, you can't tell anybody.
Absolutely.
And then it went on, and things happened. I had a dream that a family friend's house burnt down.
Mhm.
And I woke up screaming, and the next morning they called their house burnt down. My mama looked at me with her finger and said, "No more. Shh, you can't tell." So all my life, I've always just put it back,
Right.
get it. I worked as a paramedic for years, and it is very bizarre to walk in a house and have a dead patient and a live spirit, as I think of it, in the same room, and you can't tell anybody because if you accidentally do, they think you're crazy. So, but a couple years ago, well, several years ago, I looked into. I heard about a ghost hunting class, and my girl. And for some reason, I couldn't get in at that one. I got in the next one, and we've been attached at the hip ever since.
Yes, we have.
Everything of mine has blown up quickly, and it's been an adventure. Still is every day.
We get into so much.
Oh, yes, that's for a
That's
offline.
100%. Yes.
Yeah.
It's like Lucy and Ethel. I'm
It is.
telling you.
Thelma and Louise. more
Thelma,
like-
yes, yes, Lord.
Hey, but you know the cool thing is that like we can all three sit here and talk because, you know, we all have the same gift. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, I don't know about y'all, but for me, I've always felt like the oddball out. You know what I'm
Always.
saying?
Always.
And I just like, oh look, I never fit in with the preps. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, I was always around nerds most of the time. You know, I never regret that. I love my friends. Yep, that's what I'm talking about. See? But it's just something about being around people who, you know, have the same gift.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah, you're right.
because you're
awesome.
being understood in
Yes.
a certain way that no one else is going to understand you because they haven't experienced that.
Exactly. It's like-minded people and people with the same gifts. It's awesome. We can sit here and can I tell the joke? Okay, so I had somebody I dated.
Mm-hmm.
He said to me one day, he said, you know, you guys only said 3 words today. We were doing business. We were sitting in her living room doing stuff, and we were getting stuff done. And I said, what do you mean we only said 3 words?
And he said, hey, what are y'all doing?
yeah, hey, what are you doing?
What are y'all doing? How y'all?
How
And
y'all-
I'm like, what?
Yeah.
He said, wait a minute. You know you only said 3 words, right? I said, I wasn't talking to you. I did. I'm like, what the heck? And he said, no, I mean to her. And she looks at me. She said, what are you talking about? And I really think we do that when we don't want anybody else to hear what we're saying.
Yeah. I think
Right.
so.
And you know what? Too,
Unintentional.
No, but we got everything done that day, basically, and we were hearing each other. Her husband, her
Well,
husband,
you know-
used to it. He just goes, whatever.
He'll
But
say,
this is-
again.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, if you really look at it, it's kind of like, you know, the Havlin Nicola, you know, like
Yes.
listen to that frequency, you become
that
attuned to it, and it's like synchronicities.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
it just happens. Like I've had so many coincidences.
Oh
you
yeah.
know, like I don't even say that there are because I don't believe in that. You know, if there's too many signs that point, you know, obviously a direction. You know what I'm saying? So, just like for instance, for some odd reason, there was this object that I kept on like seeing. I think it was a dragon. That's what it was. It was a dragon. Why would I see a dragon? You know, and I kept on seeing this dragon in different places, location, a dragon. And then third time I see a dragon. I'm like, okay, obviously there's something trying to tell me something. You know? And so this guy gets in the car with his girlfriend and their baby. And like he's all tatted up. You can tell that, you know, he was, you know, incarcerated at one time. And what does he have? He has a stuffed animal of a baby dragon.
Oh my
You
God.
know? And so we're talking, and I mentioned something about my mom passing away.
Mhm.
And he said, oh yeah, man, my mom passed away too, but it's been, I don't even know how long it's been. And I think he doesn't know because of, probably suffering from addiction and everything like that. And then I just saw this lady with blonde hair, and I'm like, oh, is that the lady with blonde hair? And he was like, yeah, she had blonde hair. How did you know? And I'm like, oh, because she's with you, in the car. And then I was like, who is Mike? And then I just saw his eyes open up wide, and he was like, that's my brother. Like, he was killed in front of me.
Oh God.
And then he just started, he was like, started to cry, and I mean, here, like, like when you're feeling things like that and you're sensing as a psychic medium, it's like you have to, it's kind of like a doctor and patient.
Yep.
Yes, it is.
That thing, it's like you have to keep your feelings separated from what he's feeling, because then that's where you can get lost. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so he told me what happened, and they were playing. It was raining outside, and there was like this refrigerator or something that was outside, and it was plugged in, and it rained, and so they had a railing or whatever, and I guess the electricity went through the water into the railing, and it electrocuted his brother in front of him.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And
Terrible.
and so, those words that I said to him, he was like, I really needed to hear that, because I've been, thinking about, my mom and my brother really lately. And he just said that it was just hard for him to get over after all these years. And I'm like, yeah, because it's traumatic. And when you have trauma,
Yes.
Spiritually, all your whole wall goes down, your whole defense goes down. That's where you get, dark attachments. You know what I'm saying? I mean, because it's the law of attraction. I think that's why a lot of people, who have addiction, suffer from addiction, is because the fact of law of attraction. Because you have those energies that have, once they were here in life,
Yes.
And if they passed away of an OD due to a drug overdose and all that, and they're wandering because they don't want to go to the light, because they don't know where they're going to go, depending on, their ideology of their belief system, especially, if they're Christian. So, they tend to roam in the afterlife, you know what I'm saying? And then they'll just attach onto someone else that was just like them. And, then they become a succubus and just kind of feed off of them. And I think that's how, addiction is just a vicious cycle.
It is.
Because I've always heard, that's why they call alcohol spirits back in the day, because when you drink it, that's what you see, And so I really believe that when we have some type of trauma, yes, we can accidentally invite things to be attached to us and really not know.
So we have a comment. External ex Wolfpack Paranormal says, lower energy, you're more likely to get an attachment. The higher the energy, they stay away. So
no, I absolutely agree. I absolutely agree with that, especially with frequencies that I've noticed. That's the thing about the Havla Nicola, because it is brainwave frequencies, it's binomial beats. What I did, I tweaked it, some and all that, and customized it, to a certain part, that it affects, your cerebral cortex, So
we have got to go to Texas and be with this thing.
Yeah. Well,
man. And I don't mind, going over there in your neck of the woods either.
We would love that.
Because I mean, look, I think being over there, because yes, we have history. Y'all have a lot of history, especially the Civil War. And also, too, that's one of my bucket list, too, is I want to go to the different places where the Civil War happened, and all that, because I love history.
We do, too.
Yeah, so, and I would love to hear, intelligent responses, especially the past, because I love to listen to it, because it's like I'm hearing the past. I'm hearing residual energy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And and sometimes like when you listen to it, on a regular basis, you can put a storyline together. And so I have to train people who listen to it for the first time, like, look, you got to listen to the words, listen to the words in real time if you can hear it in real time, but in the playback, listen to the words and put everything together in your mind, and they're telling you a story.
Yeah.
you know so and that's what I would like to hear, is like, more stories. And eventually I would like to write a book about
Oh, please do.
Yes.
Yes,
about
you
those.
should.
Yeah, I mean, right now I'm currently working on a book right now. It's about I have to change some of the information on it and all that, due to like privacy issues
Yes.
and everything. But it's about a man who recently passed away, but he had some attachments to him and everything like that. We spoke before he passed away, and so he's like, hey, you know what, you can have the tapes, I'll let you do the audio, but I don't want my face to be on there, because I don't want to lose my job or anything like that, which completely understand. I understand that. Now, since he's deceased, I mean, I have to ask his wife and everything like that. But the thing is, I really think it's very compelling,
Yes.
because we don't know everything about other people's lives. You know what I'm saying? We don't know what people were subjected to. We don't know what people were raised in. We're most of us are raised in the Christian faith, or Judaism, or Islamic and all that. But no one really ever touches the occult side, of being raised in, and of like Wiccans, Satanist. Yeah, I mean, you see what I'm saying? Things that, in the Bible we should never talk about, and we should never even discuss. But in actuality, where the biblical scriptures of Christ came from is where evil comes from too, And so it's a balance. And so I like to touch on things like that, not of getting into, the dark cult stuff,
Right.
but to be informative of what's going on, because as Christians, we have blinders on, because we're raised that way, because we're not supposed to go beyond the Bible, especially as in the Bible Belt,
Oh
that
Yes,
yeah.
that
Lord.
we live in. I mean, a lot of them consider it a sin just to go to college, because you're getting too much information, you're learning too much, because if you learn too much, then you're gonna put things together
Yes.
and be like, wait a minute, and question your faith.
So Eternal X Wolf Pack Paranormal says
That's Sean.
that's Sean. Hey,
Hey,
Sean.
Sean.
Have
Hey,
any of you
Sean.
have any of you experienced your Akashic records? That sounds fascinating. Sean, what the hell are you talking about? Send more comments. You got to
Yeah.
educate this girl.
Yeah, I have to explain. I was talking to him about that.
Akashic records. Okay. I can't wait to hear about this. It sounds Egyptian. And I like that, it's like, ooh.
She's gonna dance. She's gonna
Yeah,
That's so cool.
you know what? History is cool, and the thing about history and the paranormal and science, and psychology and parapsychology, because all of that goes hand in hand when it comes to an investigation or trying to help people. You got to find the source of what's going on.
Yes.
Why is somebody having a haunting? Why do they have an attachment? You need to hear about their story from the time that they can even remember when they were a child, to certain aspects of people they lost in their lives, accidents, whatever the case may be. Because most of the time, when people do have issues, like we said before, it's probably from trauma. a traumatic situation. And some of the few people that I have met who claim to have some type of demonic attachments to them, one is he was messing with DMT. DMT is dimethylene high. Okay, I'm not gonna even like mess it up. But anyway, DMT is a natural chemical that you make in your body right at the time of death.
Oh, yep.
Okay, and so they make synthetic
Mm-hmm.
DMT, and these people go on some
Yes,
trips.
people crazy.
People, yeah, they'll go on some trips. I know
Yes.
some people who've done it, and some of it has enlightened them,
Right.
to be
Hold
a better
on.
person.
She's getting the
I
phone.
got the phone again. What you done said to me? Oh my God.
But I have, a previous client who did too much DMT,
Oh,
and he kind of opened something he didn't want to open, by accident, supposedly.
Mhm.
I think what he was doing, I think he was kind of touching on the occult of Satanism, doing like some type of satanic ritual, and I think he realized, okay, maybe I shouldn't do this. And so like he turned his life to Christ, but he still has this, evil attachment to him. And so I was supposed to go to see him, and along with this other paranormal group that was there.
Mhm.
And I was on my way there. I don't know what it was. Something told me not to go.
Yeah.
Like seriously, not to go. I turned around. I went to my ex-girlfriend's house, who was not too far from over there. And so we were sitting and we are talking. And now we're good friends. We're great friends. And yeah, I just started seeing things come. Like in her house, like in her apartment, there was like a little girl, standing at the door, which I've been there before and I didn't experience that. So, why am I experiencing it now? And so we're talking, and then all of a sudden, the only light flickers is, the dining room light.
oh wow.
Yeah, no other lights, because I mean, if it's electrical, other lights are gonna go too,
Right.
not just one. And then right when that happened, I get like a message from, you know the guy saying, "Hey, where are you? Things are going down now, And I'm like, nah, I don't need to, and so of course my friend's like, okay, make it stop, Chris, make it stop. And I'm like, it's not gonna hurt you. But yeah, but something was telling me not to go. So come to find out, when I did speak to the guy,
Mhm.
a few days later, he told me, he was like, "Oh yeah, they just got it and left," because he's
Well,
trying to
that's
find. Yeah, like they got all the information that they needed and they left, and they're supposed to touch back with someone who, does exorcisms and everything like that. I don't know how that panned out. I gotta, you know, see.
Ooh.
Yeah. But like something's telling me not to be around him, because I don't know, things love to attach to me. Like,
Oh God.
Oh, honey, no, that's not good.
no, no, things love to attach to me. And someone, I think it was my friend Brooke, asked like, you know, why do you attach to Chris? Oh, I like her, you know. But
You
my
like
thing,
her?
yeah, yeah. Well, great. There's a lot of people who like me, but they don't follow me home,
They don't like, yeah, all the time on you. Yeah. Ah. Now,
Yeah.
There's a
Lee
lot
and
to
I,
that.
yeah, Lee and I have spirit guides and friends that are spirits that love to be around us, but it's not like they're attached to us. So.
No.
Now, okay, look, okay, so let me kind of tell you about my little paranormal experience growing up.
Please.
So
Yes, please do.
when I was young, my great grandmother passed away. She had an aortic aneurysm, and she was in
Oh,
Texarkana when it
sorry.
happened, and we were in Galveston. And I distinctly remember my grandmother. getting the word that her mom passed away, and it was like she got punched in the stomach, and
Oh
I
God.
I was little. I knew something happened, but I wasn't putting everything together because the whole family was in the living room
Oh yeah.
and all that. But I do remember after she passed away, I would go play in my grandmother's room, and she had the toys in there, and so she had my aunt's dolls on this kiosk that would swing around because my grandfather used to be a butcher for Gerland's restaurant.
Okay.
I don't know if there's a Gerland's over there in South, in
I've
South
heard-
Carolina, North Carolina.
I haven't heard of one.
I've heard of them, but maybe when I was in Texas before.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they're no longer, I don't think they're even in business anymore. But they had it about, I want to say, like 2 or 3 feet away from the wall. So there's like this little gap
Right.
in the corner and all that. And so I was playing with my toys, and I happened to look up, and it's my grandmother Lisony, and she was a big woman, not like, big. She was a tall German, Cherokee Viking woman,
Oh, wow.
and she I mean, she was close to like, 6 foot, and all that. And she just did this and, told me don't scream or anything like that. And I told my grandma, and so that was one, episode. And then my mom just used to date these men. And look, I think one of them practiced voodoo, okay? Because I think he gave me a shrunken head. And I love this shrunken head. It was like my doll. It was my shit. Okay. And I know it was real because it was like really like sewn in the mouth and all that.
Holy crap.
And so it had like this long jet black hair and everything. And I remember like I would just go and throw it up, walk it like this and everything like that. I sleep with this motherfucker. I just did everything.
Oh my God.
But I didn't know any better, And my mom, she was a weirdo. Okay, she loved the like the morbid stuff.
Oh my
come on.
God. We do too.
We
do
like-
too.
My first my first video that I saw with my mom, okay, at the age of like 8 was like Faces of Death, okay? And so it's just like, look, this is good. Watch, this guy's gonna come and he's gonna like, he's in a parachute and he's gonna fall, and then these alligators are gonna get him. You're gonna see his intestines and all that's really cool. And I'm like, okay,
Okay.
yeah. So my mom had this really morbid sense of humor, like all the time. And so Faces of Death and Scarface were like, the two, films that my mom watched with me at a young age. And
Well,
yeah, I mean, it was very colorful, It's still like my mom was always like that. Like I remember when she was working, and she worked at a port. And so they had this grain elevator, on the premises, and someone didn't do the log out and tag out method well, and there was like an electrician or someone that was up in the grain elevator, and they turned it on, and so he came down, not in one piece,
oh no.
yeah, and so. Like I called my mom. Okay, so my mom was like night and day. You thought she was like Sybil, right? Like multiple personalities, because she was just like, "Hi, this is Debbie. How may I help you?" Like at work, But if I called, "What do you want?"
Why you calling me? Yeah.
Right. And so like I called her. So that day when all that stuff went down, I called her and I'm like, "Hey, Mom's like, ooh, I gotta go. I'm like, "Why?" She was like, "Oh, because I'm gonna see somebody's guts and all that. Like it just came out of the elevator, the grain elevator. I'll call you back." And I'm like, "Mom,
yeah.
oh, you should have saw her head exploded when she saw rotten.com,
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. She was like, "What else can you find for me?" And I'm like, "Look, Mom, you're gross. Like, She just loved that gore. She loved the real life gore, and so that's what I grew up with. And I don't know, man, like having kids of my own now.
Wednesday Addams child.
Me, I love Wednesday. Thank you.
Yeah, I do. Like my mom was a hoot, man. But I just never ceases that she would just find the most macabre, grossest stuff ever.
Jeez.
I'm
Well,
sorry, but it
she's
is
lovely. She's lovely. But
Oh,
wow.
she's lovely. Oh, look. Okay, I remember when we lived in Mississippi, there was a road. It's called Bloody 98. It goes into Mobile, Alabama. All right. So we lived in George County in
Hell of a
Lucedale.
name.
Yeah.
I know, right? We lived in George County in Lucedale, Mississippi, off of Beaver Dam Road, which you know how hilly it is in y'all's part,
Yes.
in that area. It's like you got to judge a car sometimes because once it goes in the depression, you can't see it until it comes right up on you.
Right.
So there were some workers that came from Mexico to work, in the watermelon farms, patches and everything like that. And so, there's a southbound and northbound or westbound and eastbound. And so they went the first 4 intersections or whatever they were able to go through. It was raining. It started to rain. And the guy didn't look twice. And here comes an 18-wheeler and jackknife and falls on the car, rolls all the way down into the depression, of the hill. And you can't even see this car. All you see is like, the way you can recognize it, it was a Pontiac Grand Am. Remember the 1985?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
The six where it had just like the one headlight that went across. That was the only way that you can do it. But back in the day, they didn't have like Jaws of Life or, you know what I'm saying, or a trauma team. We lived out in the damn country, so everybody, people slid down there, to help and all that. And like my mom is just watching, and one guy, because I guess when he got hit, it pulverized him. So he was just like in. One guy came out, his head was big as a basketball. He didn't even make it to like the hospital, and then there was this poor kid, not a kid. I guess he was like a teenager, 18, 19. He was young. And you can tell people basically in the rural area community compared to, the city and all that. There's some things that possibly they lack in the sense of like emergency and everything.
Yes.
So they couldn't find a tube to put down his throat, and all this stuff. But my mom was like, oh man, I feel so sorry for him, but that was some cool shit. And I'm like, Mom, this is just not the right time, man. Not the right time to even be talking about this, And so, yeah.
Dang.
Yeah. She's like, I mean, she's up there like, in her urn in her clock, probably like, I can't believe
She's laughing at you right now, telling us this. You know it.
Oh, she's like getting on to me. She's just probably like, I can't believe you told her that. I don't want nobody to know my business. I can just like totally hear it.
Oh my goodness.
Well, we are about to the end of the show. How can people reach out to you?
How can people reach out to me? You know what? That is a good question. How can people reach out to me? You can reach out to me basically on TikTok on Lisbony Paranormal.
Okay.
TikTok, LISBONY Paranormal. That's what I tell everybody to just message me there and all that. I'll answer like any questions and so forth like that. You know what? I'm still getting my social media stuff platform going. I do have a podcast Facebook page. I just got to go ahead and like update it and so forth, and
okay, cool.
So we can start promoting that and everything.
Well,
but
you'll be here, and if they want to get you and can't, they can get us, and we'll get you.
No, absolutely. And next time we'll be talking about some topics. I really wanted to discuss some of some current events and all that. But ADHD, you know what I'm saying?
ADHD.
All of
All of
us.
me.
Look here. I got this one for you. This is going to be the end of the show quote. You ready?
Yes, go ahead.
All right. Most of my life, I felt alone, even when I was with people. That was until I met you.
There you go.
So, those of you watching, you have found your gang. You have found your family. You found your group.
Yes.
You'll fit in with us just fine.
Yeah, you know, there's
No
never a dull
judgment
moment.
anywhere. Lots of love.
Lots of it.
Lots of it.
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay, let's see. We got one more comment here. Great show, Gwen and Lee and Chris. He also was saying that he's dealt with a lot of attachments, and he believes that there's some things that you were discussing that's part of your past life. So
Oh
this
no.
is fun.
Oh, okay. Okay. You know what? That's a good thing that he said that, because years ago, another medium told me that in my past life, I was a king. You
Oh,
know?
wow.
Okay. But I was like a talented king, and I was a good king.
Good.
So check this out. So about probably a few months ago, I went ahead and I did some genealogy research on my great great grandmother that we don't really know about, you know. So I found her name, and then I traced her family, and we're direct descendants from King Canute, who was a Viking king, and like obviously like the whole family, or the Nordic side, goes all the way to like 412, the year 412.
Oh.
And they were all kings.
Oh my
And so the
God.
last one that reigned wasn't King Canute, but it was like, I think it was like 1080 or something like that, or some year like that. But anyway, so it's funny that, you know, he mentioned that, because the fact that, you know, back in the day there was a lot of deaths, you know, especially kings fighting for kingdoms, and especially the Nordic, man, they were just like, they were aggressive. You know, they went into England and it's like, bitch, this is mine, and I'm gonna get it, and that's all you're gonna say.
Yeah.
If you don't, I'm just gonna slaughter all of y'all. That's all. You know, they're very barbaric. You know, and it's so funny because watching Vikings, I watched it for the first time last week, and I really got into it. And I'm like, hey, wait a minute, that's some of my family members are talking about in Game of Thrones, and I was like,
yes.
Lannister, what? You know, so. Yeah, so it's funny that you mentioned that, because I really think that there are attachments from my past life.
You'll have to have Sean on the show.
We'll get him.
Yeah, he's been on several other podcasts.
Yeah, he's coming to Chad's hopefully Monday. Sean, we got to talk about that.
Somebody, is it
That's
him?
him probably.
Okay, he's saying for you to look into your Egyptian side.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that's the black side.
With black girl with red hair and
look,
freckles. You are a mess. Just all the way around.
Look,
I love you so much.
We love you, man.
Look, man, I try to be black. I just can't. Like, look, this is what happened. Okay, the blackness was stolen out of me. My mom was like, you know what? You can't be hanging out with your dad. He's just a bad influence. I'm gonna just take you away. So, like, I was raised, you know, with my predominantly white family, which is nothing wrong with that or anything. But I mean, I embrace the black culture. I just like I feel like I'm like, you know, I'm the one who's like don't have the rhythm. You know, God didn't bless me with an ass. You know, like
I got the rhythm.
She's got the rhythm.
You got the see, like, okay, like I got the music stuff down.
Yes,
you know, when I'm drinking, maybe I'll dance, but I don't drink much, so you know.
Oh, when I drink, I think I can dance. So yeah,
but that's the thing. When everyone's drunk, everyone thinks everybody can dance, especially karaoke. You know, someone sounds like a dying, like a dying cat. Like, oh my girl, that was so beautiful. You know, and then it's like if somebody recorded it, you know, on their phone, and they look at it like, what was this? Like, ooh, you know. That's like me. I do that. I do it all the time. You know, I mean, look, the music that you hear from from me or whatever. That was when before COVID hit me. COVID like really messed my vocal cords up.
Oh.
It wasn't even COVID. It was actually the Moderna shot. I mean, it's been wrecking my life for like 4 years. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that people shouldn't get vaccinated. If it works for you, it works for you.
Yes.
This doesn't work for me. And then 2 years later, I thought that, I was done. And then of course, being in an environment that, that had mold in it and so forth, that made me sick. And, I almost died. I was in ICU. So it changed my vocal cords a little bit. So now I have to sing in a different key.
Bourbon and honey, baby.
Yes.
Honey?
Bourbon and honey.
Bourbon and honey.
Put a little lemon in it and you got something.
Yeah. That sounds pretty good.
And then she'll sing for us and send it to us. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, yeah. Well, you guys, it's been great.
It's been great.
Yes.
It went by too fast.
Way too fast.
Yeah, I'm thrilled, for y'all to be with me tonight.
Yes.
It was great, and we can do this again next week and so forth.
Oh, okay. So Sean is saying Akashic Records shows your past life.
Yes.
Your past life.
That's who I've talked to.
Yeah,
we talked.
I'm trying to conjugate it. I can't get it right.
Well, I have a picture of my family members in Louisiana. It was in the 1800s and all that. And so I had like an ancestor aunt who passed away. She had several children and all that. And so it's over at the cathedral's not open anymore. They closed it down in the Catholic diocese. But the cool thing is, and I didn't notice this, my friend noticed it, is that you see all the family members sitting, and then if you look up in the window of the cathedral, you see my dead aunt.
What?
Yes.
That's awesome.
And I like put her picture side by side to that, and you can definitely see it.
Cool. Well, we're going to end the show for tonight, but don't forget there's many more coming.
Absolutely.
Please watch for Chris O'Toole Lisbony, and look for us also. We'll be doing our Haunted Sister Diaries.
We're starting ours.
Yes. We've got a lot more coming up with All Access Network. Thank you for being part of the family.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.